Good morning, everybody. Hello. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing? Oh my goodness, my friends. I have had a week to say the least. Um yeah, hello. Good morning. Yeah, this was definitely a hot day. Hats in chat. Um Echo. You guys are hearing an echo? 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 I think it's just you. You got me open on two tabs there, Tom. Good morning. Hi, Raven. How are you? So lots of people in chat. We've got Lexi and Cosmic and Tom and Kay and Maru and William and Vintage Moon and Kate. And of course, I just said hello to Raven. Hello, good morning, everybody. Enski's here. Happy time zones. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Hello. How are we all doing? Tom has me up in two tabs. Double the trouble. No echo. Okay, good. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I this past week has been a little crazy for me. I did spend some time um offline for about a week. I had a medical emergency in my family. The family member is doing much better now. Everything's well, but I did spend about 5 days in the hospital with them, so that completely derailed everything that was happening. It was a lot. So in regards to the start of the month stuff that we usually have, so I did get out yesterday for my Adeptus members. So this is for the highest tier of membership on the channel. The tarot spreads that correspond to the astrological moons are done. Those are up and out so that it's just in time for today's lunar eclipse. So you guys can do your tarot spreads and things like that. They were actually a lot of fun to make, and it was really interesting just how reflective and poignant it was with what was going on in my life. So I hope you guys enjoy those Adeptus members. For all of my Intermundus members, those of you who are waiting on your zodiacal taroscopes, those are coming. I'm going to be working on those more this afternoon and probably tomorrow. So hopefully those will go up on Monday, I'm hoping. So they'll be a little late, but not terribly late. So I hope you guys will still enjoy those. But I do appreciate all of the loving messages and well wishes that I received, both on my little update video that I did and to the Discord announcement. So thank you all so much for all of your love and support. It was really greatly appreciated during that kind of difficult, trying time. So I do really appreciate that. Um, so that's it as far as housekeeping stuff goes. I'm kind of in a little bit of a like refuel and recharge, so I'm just going slow. I'm taking my time with things. If things don't get done, I'm okay with that. We are just kind of taking things a day at a time right now. So, but yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, everything's well. We're doing good. Um, it was just quite the derailment. Being derailed and spending 5 days in the hospital is never anyone's want to do list, I don't think. So it was a thing. Um let's see here. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything in chat. Speaking of chat, if you are in live chat today, if you have a question or a comment or anything you want me to see or read, do at Modern Metaphysica. It will highlight it bright and on my screen. Hi, Aki, welcome. Or you can do it in all caps and stuff like that. Sometimes chat gets a little busy and I do miss things, so don't feel bad if I miss your question. Just post it again. The moderators will do a good job of making sure that I see that. Um, so yeah, let's see what. So today we're gonna hang out. Um, we're gonna check out some of my reflections and favorites, things that I loved from last month, which just seems like a lifetime ago now. After the week that I had. But yeah, we're gonna check out everything from food and drink to TV shows and video games to books and tarot decks and the whole nine yards. So if that interests you, hang out, stick around. All of the things, if there is a link, I have linked it in the description box down below. Down there, you'll find links to all of my social media where you can reach out and connect, as well as a link to my personal website where you can book a tarot reading with me. Also, I have gotten a couple questions. I know the boutique is looking a little rough right now. Between the week off that I unexpectedly had to take, plus we did a little bit of like an end of summer sale there, um, which everybody was on a shopping spree, which was great. Thank you so much if you stopped by for that. But we will be restocking and getting things filled back up here in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. I will be posting on Instagram and Facebook when all that stuff goes in. So if you are eagerly awaiting something, also if you guys are ever looking for something that may be out of stock or you don't see it in the boutique, feel free to shoot me an email, modernmetaphysicae@gmail.com. I do ship. So if you are looking for something specific, I will ship things. International shipping is iffy right now. If you are in desperate need of something or looking for something, let me know and I'll see what I can do, but I can't make any promises for international folks. But if you are in the US and you would like something, feel free to shoot me an email. Okay, I think that's it for housekeeping stuff. I'm gonna drink some more coffee. We have a very boring mug today. I don't know if this mug has ever made an appearance on the channel. Is this have we seen this, the Indulge mug? This is one of my favorites. It's a little handmade coil mug. I don't remember exactly. I got this at some, I think it was like an art walk or something that I went to. Um, but I loved it. And so I bought it because indulge is a great word. But it's coiled and it's not actually a circle. It's kind of like egg shaped because it's handmade, which I love. It's imperfect like all of us. Okay. So, yep, that was just the first one that it was clean. That was a great start because of course my dishes right now are a complete disaster. Um and it was a good size because it holds quite a bit of coffee, which I needed today. All right, so let's talk about um my favorites from last month. So the first thing I wanted to share with you guys is this. This is a rituals product. If you have been around the channel for a little bit, you know I'm a big fan of rituals cosmetics. They do lotions and soaps and body care and skincare. I love their skincare. It's great. They have really wonderful lines. But this is from their Ritual of Jing line, which is like their relaxation and sleep line. And it's a little, it comes in this little tube and it's a little, it kind of almost looks like, I don't know, you can tell I've been using it, right? It's all squeezed down. um this is how you know these are real reviews, guys. I use my stuff before I tell you about it. um but this is like a little serum and you can rub it on your forehead like this or on your temples, which I like to do, and on like your vagus nerve, right? um and it helps you relax and sleep. And it has essential oils and all kinds of goodies in it, like lavender and things like that, and it's just a nice little relaxing. It has a little metal, I don't know if you guys can see it, metal tipped applicator, so it's nice and cool when it goes on. And this just really has helped me to uh relax and sleep. The two main fragrances in this is sandalwood and lavender, but I love it. And it's got some other good stuff in it just to kind of help you chill out. The other thing I really love about Rituals is that all of their products are mostly natural. So, like, this is 94% natural. And they are a bee company, so they are very transparent about all of their ingredients, where they come from, all that kind of stuff. So, these are fantastic. Go check it out. I love it. It helps me relax, helps me unwind. Um, Especially during those very stressful times that I was going through. So yeah. It is how I maintain my rosy glow. That is so true, actually. That's so funny. um all right. I don't know, did we get uh Okay. There we go. My little chat pop-up wasn't working. We had to fix that. Okay, now we can highlight chat. Okay, so that was the wild card. My random thing for the month. I always share just something random that I loved and enjoyed. Now we're going to talk about food and drink. I had a friend online who I play video games with turn me on to this brand, which is Liquid Death. um, they do like iced teas and sodas. They also have like a still drinking water. But one of the things that I really liked about the company is that they are very anti-plastic. Which is a big part of kind of my life right now is removing as many plastics as possible, especially when it comes to drinking water and stuff like that. I'm very fortunate. I live in a rural area and I have a well. So I do get well water, which I do filter because, oh boy, do I have some. I have a lot of copper and I have a lot of calcium in my water, which is fun, but does not taste great. So I do filter it. But they do. So this company, Liquid Death, they do a bunch of different like iced teas. This one is Dead Billionaire tea lemonade. It's iced tea lemonade agave, and then they put some like B vitamins and stuff in it to give you a little energy boost. But they also do like sodas. So they do like it's kind of like Zevia. If you guys are familiar with Zevia, it's really good. But they sweeten with agave instead of stevia. And then they have, like I said, they have a fizzy water and a still mountain drinking water. And the cool thing about their water is it never touches plastic. So yeah, it's wonderful. It's sweetened with agave, so there is a little bit of sugar um, from the agave. I think it's like 4 or 6 grams. I can't remember. Just a little tiny bit, but it's really, really, it's good. I like it. I tried this one and I tried the peach one. The peach one's really delicious too. The peach iced tea. And I also tried the root beer, and the root beer is yummy. And I really, really love. Um, yeah. So love this stuff. It's wonderful. These are great to just take places. Um, Aluminum is much better. And then their aluminum, they're actually very transparent about how they make their aluminum cans and stuff too. So, um, really cool company. Go check them out. I was unfamiliar with it till last month, and everything that I've tried from them has been really good. So, Liquid Death, go. You can find it on Amazon. Most of the grocery stores around me have it. I know Whole Foods has it. I know Sprouts has it. King Supers here has it. So, it's pretty readily available. Um, yeah, Diet Coke is mega bad. Don't drink that. But Zevia is good, and the cola version of this, which is basically diet as well, is really good. So yeah, yeah, the root beer is really good. The water is great. It's wonderful water. So yes, aluminium. Where are our British friends? Aluminium. Yummy. Um. So yeah. Yeah, well water is great. I do love having well water, but ours is very mineralized and not that tasty unless it's filtered. But I do filter it. So we have a house, like a whole house filter, and then the fridge has a filter for the water dispenser. So that's usually fine for like tea and coffee and stuff like that. But the calcium taste in it is really strong for me even still after it's been filtered. So if I'm just drinking straight water, I like to have something that's not the well water most of the time. Sometimes if I'm really thirsty, I'll just grab some, but yeah. Just making sure I'm not missing anything in chat. We say, yeah, you say aluminum, I say aluminium. And I can hear you say it too, Katzen. And hi, Katzen. All right. So that is favorite food and drink. Let me pull up my notes here. Where'd my notes go? There they are. All right. So herb, an herb I worked with a lot last month. Considering all of the stress that was going on in my life, was chamomile. I use chamomile a lot, actually. I drink it in teas. I use it in salves and things like that. Chamomile is an amazing herb. It's been known for its kind of calming properties, both magically and medicinally, for hundreds, if not thousands, of years at this point. It's often used in rituals and spells pertaining to peace and protection and rest, like restful sleep and things like that. And obviously, it's known medicinally for its calming effects, as well as reducing inflammation, promoting relaxation, and helping with digestive issues, which is really great. So, chamomile is just an herb that I worked with a lot last month, given the stress that I was under. And I love chamomile tea. I drink at least a cup of chamomile tea every day. Um, yeah, I love it. It's just one of my go-tos. Um, so that is it for herb. As far as crystal goes, a crystal I worked with a lot last month was hematite. So I'm actually going to switch cameras here so you guys can see this a little bit better. Um, I don't think, well, that's fine. Let me zoom in a little. I don't want to spoil. Um, so this is just a little hematite. Well, it's hematite and smoky quartz and tiger's eye. So this is I call it my triple threat bracelet. It's like a triple protection bracelet. So it's got hematite for grounding and protection, as well as smoky quartz, for the same reasons, and tiger's eye. Hematite specifically is known for its grounding and protective properties. It helps to absorb negative energy and promote emotional stability. It's often used in to enhance focus, willpower, and courage, along with tiger's eye. It also strengthens your connection between the physical and spiritual realms to support balance and clarity. So yeah, hematite was a stone that I worked with a lot last month, and I pretty much had this on the entire month last month. So hematite was definitely the crystal I worked with the most, specifically with this bracelet. And I have a few hematite pieces. That I have a hematite ring that I'll wear occasionally, and then I also have like a hematite like fidget spheres that I'll kind of like fidget with every once in a while when I just need to kind of like stim, right, and calm down and things like that, that I'll use. But yeah, hematite. It's a wonderful, wonderful mineral. If you've not worked with it, I would highly suggest checking it out. Um, it's definitely, I would say energetically, it feels more supportive than smoky quartz, if that makes sense. So yeah, love it. Love it. So that's that. Alrighty. Let's see, what else do we have on my notes here? Where did my notes go? Uh-oh. There they are. Okay. So crystal, herb, YouTube. Um, so whenever I am like super stressed, my go-to like background noise television show, just to have something on, just to drown out the like inner dialogue of stress and worry, is Star Trek in all its shapes and forms, right? I'm a huge Star Trek nerd fan. I love Star Trek. And of course, so I had Star Trek on quite a bit last month, and I found this podcast that's called, let me, Newbie Star Trek, and it's hilarious. So if you are a Star Trek fan or you are watching Star Trek or whatever, and you haven't checked these guys out, they're super funny. They basically it's a like a group of friends that just decided one day let's all watch Star Trek and do a podcast about it. And they're into like other geeky nerdy things, but like a lot of them had never watched Star Trek. And the cool thing about them too is that they do a lot of like research into like the actors and the scripts and kind of like what was going on with the show at the time and things like that, which is really funny. So they have a lot of like interesting anecdotes about the show and like the season and like why actors were leaving the show or joining the show and things like that. But it's really funny to get some of their perspectives on the show and like how it's aged or how they were developing characters and things like that. It's really great. If you're a Star Trek fan in any way, shape, or form, I highly recommend you go check it out. It's been a hoot to kind of listen to, and they go episode by episode, so you could actually just rewatch the show with them if you wanted to. And so they do Next Generation, and then they do Deep Space Nine, and I don't know if they've gotten to Voyager yet. Voyager is my favorite, by the way. If anyone's wondering, Voyager is absolutely my favorite. It's the first Star Trek show I remember kind of really watching and like understanding. I remember as a kid, like my mom and dad watching Next Generation and having that on. But Voyager was the first one that I really remember like watching and remembering character names and like, like absorbing. And so Voyager has always had a special place in my heart. But I just really like the story as well. So yeah, go check them out if you are a Trekkie nerd. It's a newbie Star Trek. They have a YouTube channel. They also put their podcasts on all the usual stuff. So you guys can go check it out. Original series or nothing. So I have watched the Star Trek original series once just to say that I have watched it, but I will say that 90s chunk of Star Trek is still my favorite. So Next Gen, um Voyager and uh Battlestar Galactica, Deep Space Nine are my three favorites. The Enterprise show was good for what it was. I really loved Picard because obviously it was a throwback fan service to all of those shows. Um and things like that. Strange New Worlds is okay. It's a little too cliche in moments for me, but yeah, good stuff. Oh my goodness. So that was my favorite sort of YouTube thing. As far as like TV, film, and video games, I didn't play a whole lot of video games, nor did I watch very many movies last month. But I did watch the new season um, of Wednesday on Netflix. And we all know I love me some Adams Family, and Wednesday is great. So go check that out. I love the Adams Family. Of course, back to the 90s, early 2000s Adams Family. That was chef's kiss, right? But I do really enjoy this one. So I really loved that. So that's TV, film, video game, book. Let's talk about books. So my favorite book that I got in last month was definitely this book. I've been really enjoying this book. So this is Magic Art by Andre Breton. Um, and I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name. If I'm butchering that, I apologize deeply. But yeah, this book is great. First of all, we got some Bosch um, end papers, which is wonderful. But this book is full of a lot of really cool stuff. Not only is it beautifully printed and constructed as a book, but there's a lot of really kind of cool, interesting reads in here. So this I've read this Art as a Vehicle of Magic section. Very cool, very interesting. And then it kind of goes through a little bit of like art history and stuff like that, which is interesting. Um, it's a it's a pretty cool book. Lots of intriguing insights into different perspectives of how art has been a part of magic for a long time, and religion in itself, right? Obviously, during the Renaissance, the biggest form of art was religious art. So yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful book with really great kind of um perspectives and things like that. This is the inquiry. Um, but yeah, definitely check this one out. Lots of really interesting things. I'm very excited to continue to kind of dig through this and delve into things. Um, it's a beautiful book. I love this painting so much. Such a cool painting. Surrealism. So yeah, definitely my favorite book that I got last month. Excited to spend more time digging into this. Uh, so yeah. So there is that. Can I put this somewhere that it's not going to? It's back here for now. That's okay. Okay. So there's that. Let's talk about favorite um new tarot, which was the Machinoa tarot. So this deck definitely took the cake last month. Um, this is by far the most beautiful tarot deck I own, hands down. No ifs, ands, buts about it. This deck is the most beautiful tarot deck I own. It's gorgeous. It's stunning. The artwork is beautiful. Um, yeah, it is just it's out of print right now. So if you fall in love with this and you don't have it, I'm sorry. I genuinely, sincerely hope that the creator considers a more open edition for this deck, or allowing it to be printed mass market or something, so that this deck can continue to live on and it can be more accessible to a wider audience, because it is truly a masterpiece. I mean, I can't speak highly enough about this deck. It is absolutely gorgeous and stunning. These are all hand painted, which is amazing to say the least. All watercolor, if I remember correctly, um, and done in the classic ancient Italian style. Look at how masterfully this water is done down here. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Printed on this really beautiful paper cardstock, done with, the square corners, traditional. It's all very traditional, which I really love. Um, yeah, it's just amazing. This deck is amazing to say the least, and probably one of my favorite decks in my entire collection now. So yeah, I oh, I just love it. So she does have a few copies of this that she will be selling, from my understanding, in terms of the Kickstarter run. But I'm not sure what um, what the plan is after that. So, yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, traditional pips, and things like that. So, but yeah, definitely my favorite new tarot deck that I got last month. Um, it's quite a big deck, quite chunky, but I love it. I love it. So there is that. Beautiful deck. And then as far as my most used deck last month, that was definitely um the Earth Magic Tarot. So the colored edition came out, and of course that put me on the kick of using the Daniel Martin Diaz decks again. He did send me a really not a little. It wasn't little in the slightest. It was quite large. A little Happy Mail package, which I'm very grateful for, and it was full of all kinds of goodies. I did do a little like unboxing of that, so if you're interested in checking that out, there is a video up. I think it was called an update and Happy Mail or something like that. Go check that out. But definitely the most used deck that I used last month was the Earth Magic Tarot, both in this form and in the original um, sort of sepia tone version of the deck, alongside his Myth Oracle. I use this quite a bit as well. But this is the same deck, just in a sepia tone. So love this deck so very much. It's totally my aesthetic, right? With all of the kind of hermetic and alchemical references and things like that. Obviously, leans a little bit more towards the Rider-Waite-Smith system, has some nods to Marseille and the ancient decks, as well as some nods towards Thoth, which is great. Um, but I love it. I love this deck. It's such a beautiful deck to read with. Um, it always looks great on the table. The cardstock is amazing. It's that usual kind of linen, really nice, beautiful cardstock that we see from um, the folks over at what is that? I can't think of the name of the printer now. Someone help me out in chat. What's the name of the printer who does this? And they do Usi Expert Playing Card Company. There we go. I remembered. um, yeah, it's really beautiful. Is the book from the original Earth Magic Tarot the same as the new one? I have not had a chance to compare them yet. Um, I'm not sure. I'm assuming that there's probably some edits and things like that. I would assume that it's probably fairly similar, with just with updated artwork and a few probably like typos or things like that fixed. So that's my assumption. But I can't honestly answer that because I've not compared the two. So, but definitely my most used deck last month. And I think the colored deck is definitely going to take the cake for me in terms of which one I use the most. The colored version, color just adds so much to a reading for me that when I read, I like to work with color, unless I'm dealing with some very specific kinds of questions. So typically, when people come to me with like this or that kind of questions, like what I like to call crossroad questions. Why is that so difficult to say? So when I have a client come to me with a crossroad question, which is like, I was offered this job opportunity in this state, but I have the potential to move up in the job that I'm at. I'm not sure what would be the better long-term choice for me, right? Like, can you give me some guidance and advice onto like this or that, right? Those kinds of questions. I tend to lean into monochromatic decks then. Then I'll get the black and white decks out because those just seem to really hit those questions on the head really well for me personally. That's kind of my own personal take and experience. I can't really talk about like why specifically, but whenever it comes to like this or that questions, I always tend to grab a black and white deck because it just makes sense in my brain, I guess. But in terms of my own personal practice in the way like I read for myself, I tend to like colored decks because color for me has been, I've talked about this a couple times on the channel, being an artist myself and what's also known as a tetrachromat. So I have the ability to see a wider range of color than most people, because I have extra color sensors in my eye. Most people only have three, and I have four, so I can see more detailed shifts in color. In fact, it got me in trouble when I was in school when I was very young because I would argue with teachers about the color of things. So like when you're in grade school and they're teaching you colors and stuff like that, and The teacher would say this is gray, and I'd be like, no, that's actually a blue. It would get me in some trouble. But color for me has always been a very big part of my life and very important to me. So like when I read for myself, I tend to read with color decks. That, however, does also have exceptions. Again, I tend to lean in towards the monochromatic stuff for this or that questions, or when I'm in very dark places and I need to kind of evaluate things um, in that kind of a level, then I'll tend to lean into monochromatic ones. So, but yeah, definitely the most used tarot of last month was my Daniel Martin decks. I've been on a bit of a kick, one might say. And these just shuffle so good, you guys. How many people in chat have the colored edition now? Since I showed it last month. I think my chat might have. Did my chat die? Oh, there we go. Cosmic has it. Vintage has it. Daniel is a really nice guy. That little care package he sent me made my day. And it came at such a really, it actually had been sitting for a little while at the boutique because he mailed it to the boutique, which is the happy mail that's usually in the description box. It had been sitting there for a while, but I didn't pick it up until after the whole hospital thing. And so having that was it was like a nice hug, and I really needed it. It was really good. So, yeah. Lexi's sticking with the sepia one. Really interesting. I would have thought, Lexi, you would have been all about the colored version. Um, Interesting. Let's see. Rich earlier Tom is all on the Camina Tarot. That's a beautiful deck. The myth, yeah, his myth oracle is great. This is yeah, wonderful. And it goes so well. I mean it just is like perfect for the sepia version of the deck. It is like they go hand in hand. So here's the sepia version and then here's the oracle, and you can see they just go so well together. It's so good. At the very least, you need to get the Myth Oracle, Lexi. I think you would really like it. It's a great deck. So there is that. So those, my friends, were all my favorites from last month, which is crazy. And I felt like, again, whenever I do these videos, I feel like I'm rushing constantly to get all this stuff out, but we're right on time. um, yes, Daniel does understand the one thing that I really love about Daniel's work, and I'm so glad that he's continuing to produce decks. I'm really excited to see what he continues to come up with, is the cohesiveness of his style, both individually to each deck, where each deck feels incredibly cohesive and whole in and of themselves. But across all of his decks, there's also a cohesion of um of style and of quality that's really important, that I think is just phenomenal. And that I personally really appreciate, because there's nothing worse than getting multiple decks from a creator where they decide to just like go off the rock and use like different printers, and then you have like different quality of cardstock and things like that. But I will say that, you know, his stuff is always just on par and it's always great. I have no real complaints about his stuff. So, and easily, if I were to do one of those like my top 10 tarot decks right now videos, that, you know, our bread and butter on YouTube, would easily make the top 10, right? Hands down. No questions asked. Would definitely be there. So yeah. All right, friends. Well, let me know what some of your favorite stuff is. If you guys are watching live now, come back, leave a comment. Let me know what some of your favorites from last month were. If you're watching this on replay, leave a comment. Let me know. If you guys do favorite videos, by the way, feel free to share them in the comment section. Come back, leave a link. It will get held for review. All links get held for review, but I do approve them if they're good links and they're not naughty links. Um, so yeah. Madame Maru says, "I love the backs on the Egyptian Art Nouveau. Those are beautiful." Yeah. Favorite Kickstarter that was canceled. Um, that would be interesting. I should go through. That would be kind of interesting to go through like my Kickstarter of like Kickstarters that didn't make it or that were canceled. That would might be an interesting little video actually, because I have quite a few Kickstarters that I backed and then they were either canceled by the creator or they just didn't get funded. Um, and to kind of just see like what I've supported that hasn't come to fruition. Um, that would be kind of fun. But yeah, that's all I had to share with you guys today. Does anybody have any questions? Now's a great time to ask questions and things like that if you guys have them. Yeah, a lot. I will say a lot of them that get canceled do tend to come back in different forms, but there's quite a few I think in my history that just never saw the light of day. It'd be kind of interesting to see what those were. I might after this I might go peruse them just for the funsies of it. Where's Patrick? I don't know where that guy is. You'll have to get on Discord and poke him, see where he is. Tom, what did you do with Patrick? Oh yeah, we get that'll be exciting. Tom came to my rescue because Hobonichis all came out the when I was dealing with all of the medical stuff. Um, and so most of you guys know I use is there anything in here that's revealing to me personal information before I show it? So I use Hobonichi Weeks for my planning system. This is basically like my wallet. Um and the Hobonichi Weeks that I wanted from this year's release uh was sold out everywhere. And Tom came to my rescue and found one in one of his a local shop where he goes to pick up some of the stationery and stuff like that, and got one for me. So thank you, Tom. um, oh yeah, he's in that Thoth class. That's right. I'm very curious to see what he thinks about that one. But I love my Hobonichi weeks. I did try working with like the regular Hobonichi at one point, like the Hobonichi Techo. Um, and that was just too much for me. That was like, I'm not someone who like plans my days out that rigorously. I'm more of a like, okay, this day I'm gonna go work in the boutique, and this day I'm gonna work on client readings, and this day I'm gonna work in the garden, and this day I'm just gonna rest, right? That's kind of like how I plan things out. But like within those days, the only time I will like plan out a chunk of time is if I have like an appointment, like, oh, I have to go to the dentist or whatever the appointment is, then I'll write that in my planner. But otherwise, it's very kind of obtuse like that. Like, go work in the boutique on Wednesday. And that could mean that I'm in the boutique from 1 to 5, or it could mean that I'm there from 9 to 1, or who knows, right? But that's just kind of how I am. So that's why I like the weeks, because it's just enough for me to kind of organize myself, but it's not like every day breakdown every hour. However, if I was working back in the office, in like a normal 9 to 5, which God, I hope I never have to go back to. Oh God. If I was doing that, I would probably like the other one. You got the Magic Lantern Sibylla. Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah, go check it out, Etsky. I prefer the weeks personally. And they have the weeks mega now too. So if you want like more room to like write notes and brainstorm and stuff, the weeks mega is a great alternative to that because you get kind of more like notebook space in the back and things like that. So yeah, love it, love it. And then of course, too, I also use the Cocarina planners. So this is kind of how I plan out um my more magical side of things. I kind of use it for like personal reflection and tarot readings and rituals and stuff like that. But she did the new one did get go up for pre-order. The next year's is going to be like Victorian flower language themed, which is really cool. So go check that out if you have not done so already. But I loves them. All right, friends. I don't see any other questions or comments or anything, so we'll get things wrapped up. I just want to say thank you all so much for coming to hang out, um, and check out some of my favorites from last week. Just remember, I will be getting those tarot scopes up as soon as possible if you're waiting for those. And yeah, don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss future live streams. I go live most Sundays. And yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday afternoon. And as always, remember, everyone out there is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So be kind to one another, okay? See you guys back around YouTube. Bye, everybody.